In this lesson, we'll learn how to modify an object's pivot. What I'll do first is unreference our mesh layer so we can go in and select a group of objects here right at the back of the engine. So these objects have been instanced. So the really neat thing about that is if we were to go to our rotate tool with the E key and start to rotate, you can see that even though we have one node selected, all objects in this instance group are behaving the same way. So this is great because we can now create thrust control. However, here's an issue. The pivot isn't in the best spot. Instead, we'd want to bring the pivot further up. So what we can do then is grab the objects that we would like to modify and use the D key to alter their pivot. So if I were to go ahead and, let's say, drag this back and then start to rotate, you'll get an idea of the behavior we'll get. All right, so you can see the difference. What happens if we go ahead and take the pivot and bring that forward? What I'll do is move over to our side view. I'll go to wireframe mode, again hitting the 4 key. Now going to the pivot tool, which we can hold down the D key now and start to just drag this forward. If we were to move over to our perspective view and test this out, you'll see the pivot is in an ideal spot for great thrust control. Beautiful. Now, what if you wanted to center the pivot again? Well, we've learned that already. It's just a matter of selecting the object and choosing Modify, Center Pivot. But chances are we're going to want to leave the pivot where we've just placed it. So I'll go ahead and undo that by hitting Z. Beautiful. So we've learned in this lesson how a pivot can be modified, again using the D key, or you can use the Insert key on your keyboard. That will also send you into pivot mode. In the next lesson, we'll learn about selection handles.